The most expensive thing you buy every day doesn't show up on your bank statement. You come home from work exhausted. Your body sends one clear signal: sit down. The couch is right there, your phone's already in your hand. And somewhere between the third episode and the second takeout notification, 3 hours dissolve. You feel like you earned this, you worked, you showed up, you deserve to decompress. That feeling, that specific guilt-free sensation of collapsing after a hard day, is the most expensive habit in your life. It's costing you $47,129 a year. And what makes this so dangerous isn't the amount, it's that the math never knocks on your door. It doesn't arrive as a single charge. It bleeds out across 4 invisible accounts, and right now, while most people scroll and stream, all 4 are draining simultaneously. By the time this ends, you'll know exactly where the money goes. And you won't be able to look at your evenings the same way. There's a clock running in your financial life that doesn't count seconds. It counts compounding interest, skill gaps, and opportunity cost. Every hour of your life, this clock is either moving forward, building something, or running backward, quietly unwinding years of potential wealth. Most people don't know this clock exists. They've been told that collapsing on the couch is rest, that it's recovery, that they earned it. What they haven't been told is the price of the transaction. Let's start with the number that sounds small until you do the math. The average person earning $60,000 a year spends $4,800 annually on what I call chaos tax. Not luxury spending, not pleasure, chaos. Takeout because meal prep didn't happen again. Ride shares because tomorrow's logistics weren't planned tonight. Premium streaming subscriptions because passive consumption became the only real coping mechanism. Late fees because tomorrow always felt like the right time. None of these feel like big decisions in the moment. Together, they represent nearly $5,000 a year in friction costs, money that doesn't go toward pleasure, toward investment, toward anything. It evaporates because the evening had no structure. That's the first layer. The second layer is where it stops being uncomfortable and starts being brutal. If you redirected just 90 minutes of those post-work hours, not all of them, just 90, to a skill-based income activity, conservative estimates place additional earnings at $18,000 to $24,000 per year. Freelance writing, digital consulting, remote services. These aren't hypothetical numbers. These are what people with laptops and 90 focused minutes are producing right now. You're not choosing Netflix over your evening. You're choosing Netflix over $20,000. And the part that's hardest to sit with, that $20,000 doesn't just fail to arrive for you. It arrives for someone else, someone in your city with the same skills, who made a different decision with the hours between dinner and sleep. Third layer, if that $4,800 in chaos spending and $20,000 in lost side income were redirected into index funds averaging 8% annual returns, the compound effect over 30 years generates $1.2 million more at retirement. Not from a raise you haven't gotten yet, not from luck, from hours you already own, the ones after 5 p.m. that you've been spending like they cost nothing. Because here's the thing about the compound clock, it doesn't care that you're tired. It doesn't pause for exhaustion. Every hour it runs backward is an hour that cannot compound forward, and backward hours accumulate into decades. Now here's the shift that makes everything else click. You've been told that exhaustion earns rest, that collapsing is recovery. That the harder your day, the more you deserve to check out entirely. That's the narrative sold to every generation before yours: work hard, then disconnect, then repeat until retirement eventually shows up. But rest, real, restorative rest, doesn't look like passive dissociation. And it doesn't feel like waking up tomorrow in the exact same financial position with one less day to fix it. The relaxation that leaves you financially stressed isn't relaxation. It's delay wearing comfortable clothes, Every evening spent in reactive mode is another page written in the story of why your future feels just slightly out of reach. The compound clock doesn't care about the narrative. It always runs. Meanwhile, while your screen glows, someone is finishing the certification that earns them $15,000 more next year. Someone is building the client base that will replace their salary in 18 months. Someone is spending 15 minutes tracking their finances with the precision that means they never end a month asking where the money went. The person who gets the promotion you wanted isn't more talented. They used the compound clock differently. They didn't grind harder at work. They built leverage after work. That's the fourth layer, career opportunity cost. $14,329 per year. In missed salary negotiations, you walked into underprepared, certifications that would have shifted your income bracket, and professional skills your competition built while you recovered from days you couldn't afford to recover from. Added up $4,800 in chaos spending, $20,000 in lost side income, $8,000 in compound investment losses this year alone, $14,329 in career opportunity cost, $47,129 every single year. And the hardest part isn't the math. The hardest part is that none of this feels like a choice. It feels like survival. It feels like what you do when the day has taken everything and the couch is the only thing still asking nothing back. The systems that profit from your evenings understand this. They're engineered to feel like relief at exactly the moment you're most vulnerable to choosing comfort over construction. They don't want you to see the receipt. They want you comfortable enough to come back tomorrow. So here's what the people who went from broke to $250K net worth in 5 years actually figured out, and it has nothing to do with working more hours. The post-work window, 4 hours between dinner and sleep, is the highest leverage period in your entire financial life. During work hours, your employer controls the output. During those 4 hours, you do. What you build in that window compounds in ways your salary never will. The system that changes everything has 4 components. None of them require motivation. All of them require structure. Component 1, the 15-minute financial pulse check. Every single evening before anything else, 15 minutes of knowing exactly where your money is. Not because tracking is exciting, because the person who knows their numbers makes fundamentally different decisions than the person who guesses. That 15 minutes eliminates the end-of-month panic. It's the plug in the first drain. Component 2, the 60-minute side income sprint. 1 focused hour, same time each night. No planning sessions, no warm-up scrolling, no waiting to feel like it. You sit down, you execute, you stop. At $25 an hour entry level for most digital skills, that's $1,500 to $3,000 per month added to what your job already pays. Component 3, the evening preparation protocol, 30 minutes, meals planned. Tomorrow structured. This single habit eliminates $400 per month in chaos spending, the invisible friction tax that drains silently because tomorrow was always going to be the right time to handle it. Component 4, the momentum tracker, not an app, not a complicated system. A visible record of what you did each evening that you see every morning. The moment your streak becomes visible, motivation becomes irrelevant. You're not trying to feel like it, you're protecting something you've already built. Here's what the compound clock looks like when it runs forward. You know your numbers, a second income stream is building. The chaos leaks are plugged. You're showing up to work tomorrow better positioned than the version of yourself that spent 3 hours in passive mode and woke up exactly where you left off. The financial stress doesn't vanish overnight, but it begins moving in a direction towards something instead of just away from the exhaustion of the day before. Real peace isn't the absence of effort, it's the presence of momentum. It's the compound clock finally running the right way. There's one thing worth sitting with after this ends. Every evening you make a transaction, you've always made it. The question was never whether you'd spend those hours, it was always what you'd spend them on. Now you know the price of the evening routine you've been running. You know what 3 hours of passive consumption actually costs. You know what choosing comfort over construction compounds into over years. Start with 15 minutes, just the financial pulse check. That's the first gear. Everything the compound clock can build is behind it. The clock is already running.